Monday, 28th October. And our meeting this morning is a little bit abnormal for it's not a normal planning committee meeting. We're meeting really, in a sense, as a place committee meeting, so our mindset has to be slightly different, but I'll cover that in just a wee moment or two. It's basically this is a meeting to decide a capital asset transfer request. It is not normally the remit of the planning committee, but it is during these times. And just a little bit of background as to what our approach to this should be comes from some of the explanatory notes on the Community Empowerment Act 2015. I'll pick out a couple of relevant points here to keep in mind. The relevant authority must decide whether to agree or refuse the asset transfer request in accordance with section 82. It must compare the benefits that might arise with the request agreed to those that might arise from any other proposal. The committee must also consider whether the proposals will promote or improve well-being or reduce inequalities of outcome, economic development, regeneration, public health, social well-being, these kind of things. The decision must be reached in a manner which encourages equal opportunities and the observance of equal opportunity requirements. Finally, subsection 5 requires that the authority must agree to the request unless there are reasonable grounds for refusing it. So that's our sort of thinking into this thing. Right. First of all, we will take apologies. We've got apologies, I think, from.
Yes, we have apologies from Councillor Benny, Councillor Fairley, Councillor McCaughey and Councillor Quinn.
Thank you, Clerk. Right, I'll now read what I should have done at the beginning of the protocol, because this is a public meeting, members of the public may be in attendance, so I will read this. Right, all visitors must sign in the visitor book at the entrance to Kilmaine Craigs, and this includes council staff from other buildings. There is no planned fire evacuation drill or alarm test today. So if the fire alarm is activated during your visit, you must exit the building immediately. The council officers will direct you to the nearest fire exit and will escort visitors to the building fire assembly point beside the Silver Man at the top of Parliament Walk. Kilmaine Craigs staff should report to their floor's assembly point. You should remain at your assembly point until directed to reoccupy the building and only re-enter once the fire marshal has advised it is safe to do so. Please do not attempt to leave the site by vehicle until cleared to do so by the fire marshal to ensure that access routes are kept clear for emergency vehicles. Please note that this is a public meeting and the members of the public may be in attendance in person or online. The meeting will also be recorded by the clerk and published online for public viewing after the meeting. Otherwise, taking of photographs, including screenshots, audio or video recordings, not permitted during the meeting unless with the express permission of the chair. Wow. Can members attending virtually please activate their cameras wherever possible to enable you to join by video, and can all attendees mute their microphones when not speaking? Please do not come in unless I invite you to do so. If members attending virtually wish to speak on any point, please indicate by clicking on the raise your hand button. Members in the chamber should also raise their hand and I will bring you in at the appropriate time. If members have not been able to access all papers for the meeting, please indicate now. Councillor Law.
I have, but I just can't find it again. What date was it sent out?
A week ago.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
About the 21st.
Is that right? I'll grab it.
My messages on the phone for some reason, so I can't get answer back with us. I have read it.
We'll just wait till Councillor Law's got her papers. We've done the attendance part for us. Okay, good. Right. Next one is declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? I will indicate something at this point. As a ward councillor for Ward 5, Clickman comes in my remit along my esteemed colleagues, councillors Martin and Harrison over there. But I can say honestly that I have not taken part in any discussions with the Town Hall Trust or the Development Trust on this topic at all. I have in the past spoken or attended meetings where the Town Hall Trust has discussed the lease, but that is not the scenario for today, so I consider I'm not, I don't have anything to be concerned about. Okay, right. Item 3, the paper. This will be presented to us by Director Wells from the Police Directorate. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, members. The report before you seeks a decision in accordance with Part 5 of the Community Empowerment Scotland Act 2015. The Act on the Community Assessment Transfer request made by Clackmannanshire Development Trust for the purchase of Clackmannan Town Hall, former CAP. Just to give members a bit of background in relation to this asset transfer request, the CAP in Kilmannon was made available for community asset transfer by Council on the 8th of March 2018. The CAP is currently vacant and Clackmannan Town Hall is currently leased out to a local community group on a long-term lease, which is due to expire at the end of January 2031. We have undertaken a valuation of the property earlier this year, which identified that the property was valued at £180,000. A request in relation to the community asset transfer for this property came in with an asking price of £144,000. This offer represents a 20% discount in the market value, which is within our normal operating protocols for such requests. The Community Development Trust at Clackmannan proposed to use the property to continue the core activities providing social, recreational and community wellbeing services which meet community needs, and to expand the provision to meet increasing demand on their services. Combining the two parts of the property under ownership of one organisation and making capital improvements to the internal space, the proposal maximises the potential as a community facility centre. It will also be the responsibility of the Development Trust to apply for planning permission should there be any change of use. As part of our CAT, the Development Trust have asked the vacant possession of the property, which the Council cannot comply with at present. Therefore, if the Council is minded to dispose the property to the Development Trust, then the legal documents will need to be suspensive of the Council obtaining a valid and signed renunciation of the current tenants. And I can advise, having spoken to the current tenants, they are willing and supportive of that approach. The proposal is also dependent on an award from the Scottish Land Fund for them to pursue the purchase of this property. Again, the Scottish Land Fund will accept their application once we have declared a CAT transfer is approved. Therefore, that element would be, as it stands, likely to be met. The transfer will also see the £93,000 approved by Kilmannanshire Council within our current 25-26 capital programme. And I must say it's been there for a few years, ring-fenced for the purpose of this CAT transfer. And it will support the creation of turning the community access point into a community enterprise hub for the local community. The property is a keynote building in the town centre, which is the local community has strong affiliations for, and there's a strong community desire to see the sustainability and success of this asset and through this transfer. The group developed a business plan which was submitted in terms of how they would plan to take forward their work within the asset itself. I would like to say that that is based on quite an extensive history of working within the town hall. 22 years that the existing leaseholder has been operating in that area, and the Development Trust has been extremely active for quite a number of years now as well within the town. So it's built on quite a substantive history there. It's not a new organisation per se. I think it's also really imperative that the committee is aware that we have reviewed the business plan, and there's a number of concerns that were highlighted by our colleagues within finance, namely in terms of the sustainability around about the financing, which was predominantly based on the fact that they have staff involved, which pushed the operational costs over. This did require us to look at what additional support there could be, and we did through the Business Gateway appoint an external consultant to work with the group to explore the business plan. I need to say that the external independent advisor has said that whilst the business plan is ambitious, it isn't unrealistic in that sense, taking into consideration the context of the third sector and community sector's approach, which is notorious for pivoting to operate within its means. And given the fact that there is a strong history and quite a robust board around the Development Trust, certainly from my perspective as director, are comfortable that that is credible enough for its sustainability. Hence, where when we go into the scoring assessment in 3.16, we have represented colleagues from across the council and taken into consideration the other factors, including the Business Gateway input, to assess the scoring of the CAT transfer and the recommendations that consist within the report itself. There has been one other additional information that came to light since lodgement of the report, Chair. And just for members' complete awareness is that it has came to light that Clipmannon Town Hall has a relay in terms of its servicing of Woodside Children's Home IT system. And I would be suggesting that an additional condition, if members were minded, that the CAT be agreed subject to an IT solution being put in place as well. What I can give members a bit of reassurance, I have been talking to our IT colleagues and they are confident that there is an IT solution to this. In that sense, so I just want to give that reassurance. But I do think in terms of it would be prudent of us to add that additional condition in, just to give members assurance that officers are looking into that and that a solution will be in place before any CAT transfer is concluded. In that sense, so I would be, if the chair was willing to fit that additional condition, I would be asking the committee to consider that as well. The scoring outlines the risks and the benefits associated with this plan. And certainly in my long history of working with community organisations and community asset transfer, I see this as like any other that we have done, more than capable of being sustainable, and with the potential to bring that wonderful asset in Clipmannon back to its glory again, and serving its local community and meeting its local needs. Chair, committee, I would recommend the recommendations in section 2 of the report alongside the additional condition I've suggested. If minded, I'm here to answer any questions, as is colleague Leslie Bailey. I would be astonished if you didn't have questions for our colleague as well with the finance in relation to some of the points that raised as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, it's questions, Councillor. No.
Chair, there's just one question at the moment. In 3.6, I think it's 3.6, there's a word here that I have never come across. Dispone.
Legal.
Oh, I know a real word would be a great password. Oh, sorry.
For you, Chair, I can say that I absolutely asked the same question, but I am told that it is a legal terminology that is used widely in terms of it would be almost like dispose, but it's a legal term that is used. I did inquire about that one myself. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Long.
Kevin kind of added the bit in about Woodside. It was one of the things that I was just going to ask is that we ensure that there is that kind of IT solution found for Woodside that is extremely important to the running of the home to have that done. So I would be minded to have that condition on.
Was that a question
Do you agree?
that you would be minded to? Yes. I'll add a rider to that question just before you answer, Kevin. Would there be a time limit on this condition? I'm concerned that if it's a long date to the fix, that might interfere a wee bit with the implementation.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Councillor Law. I don't believe it is a long time fix. I think we can utilise existing broadband connections that exist within the property. I also think that we can do something special for our young folk that are in that home in terms of what kind of additional package we could do, and that's certainly something that I've said that my department would be willing to support through the funding of it. I don't think it would be a great expense, but I think we can do something really good in terms of boosting the connectivity in that property. Having spoke with IT, it would be things like we all currently connect to our network from home. It'd be the same kind of solution that we would put in there through broadband, and we do have broadband at present, but I think we can maybe accelerate that within the time frame prior to.
Do you see the fix being a barrier to entry, or merely a condition that they will undertake to allow entry for you to solve this problem, take the kit away or get it moved to that kind of thing? I'm just wondering if it's a barrier to the disponement, then it might be a problem.
It shouldn't be a barrier to that in the sense that in terms of the kit that is currently on Clackmannan Town Hall, we wouldn't remove that until the solution was in place at the children's home, which I think could be enacted fairly quickly. In that sense, we only need the agreement in terms of the CAT to progress with the Scottish Land Fund application. And I would see that the whole thing being concluded by the end of the fiscal year, which gives us quite some time in which to enact some of the conditions that we have here in that sense. So I don't think it would be a problem of us being able to continue with the ask and getting access to remove the equipment, and that would be done before we actually hand over and sign over the building.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my concern was that the Scottish Land Fund are now being asked to accept 3 conditions before this can go ahead, and I'm just wondering if there's too many blocks coming along. Because if we do give it the nod when it goes to Scottish Land Fund for a decision, they're going to look at the burdens on the transfer, and we don't want them, if it's going ahead, that to be a problem.
Thank you, Chair. I think what we should be able to do is one of the conditions is in the funding from the Land Fund themselves. The other condition is in relation to the announcement of the lease, which the group are willing to give a letter of comfort around about that, or proceed with the action. They're ready to do that. And in terms of that, I'm certain that our IT department will be able to give us some confirmation that we are able to enact that would be ticked off. Okay. In that sense of being able to progress that.
Thanks. Councillor Law.
Just again on the finance details, to me when I'm looking at it and just knowing the realm that we're in, considering like what our council budget is, and to me would they agree that the finance people that isn't, considering the climate that we're in, it isn't too much of an ask for what they're doing, and what the other kind of party had said that it is doable. Do you agree it isn't far-fetched, basically?
I was going to say, I don't know whether the finance team want to make a presentation or simply answer questions, which...
No presentation has been prepared, so answering questions would be preferable. Thank you.
Please proceed.
Yes, I see exactly where you're coming from. The nature of these type of organisations and what they do is uncertain and heavily dependent on grant funding, which year to year can differ quite hugely. We just want, from a financial perspective, to highlight that operationally, the revenue business plan does not break even, so it doesn't cover its costs. And even in year 3 of this business plan, that factoring in grant funding, they are still loss making. So it's just to highlight that fact, but with the awareness of the climate they operate within.
Can I ask you to summarise that? Is that you giving it a thumbs up?
Yeah. So Lindsay and I went through the scoring assessment that is in the report, and we were slightly more conservative. We were a little more cautious with what we were saying, but we are aware that there are other considerations that's not financially alone and it's not a business, so it's not the same. I highlighting the risks that I've just discussed about the non-break-even nature of the business plan, keeping that in mind and factoring in the uncertainty of grant funding. I still do not believe it is an unreasonable business plan, and I believe that they will operate with some uncertainty. So, yes.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Councillor Law.
We recently, a couple of months, did something similar for, in Alloa for the main sheds. I take it that wasn't too dissimilar to what we're seeing here, so it is, yeah. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree. The main shed business plan was just slightly more stable.
Okay, are there any other questions at this point for anyone that's spoken so far? No? All right, well, I will now propose the paper formally, just to get it through to debate stage. Do I have a seconder?
Yes.
Councillor Law. No, sorry.
I was going to second.
What's in fact that?
Right, okay, so we have now the paper's now open for debate. Does anyone wish to debate the paper? Something Taggart.
Thanks, Chair. I would fully support this, and I take the financial advice given. However, having run a third sector organisation for a number of years, it's peaks and troughs, and you just have to ride with it, for want of a better term. There will be opportunities that will present themselves to the group within that 3-year period. I'm quite certain of that. And obviously none of us have a crystal ball, so they're not able to present that in black and white for us now, but the opportunities will arise, I'm sure. As a well-established group, I had, for a number of years, I had quite a lot of contact with them, and they're very focused, they're very determined, and I'm sure they'll make a success of this. So I definitely support this proposal. Thanks, Chair.
I have to declare an omission. I had intended to invite my ward councillors to make a contribution to this, and I've stepped over that, so I'm going to rewind the clock and give you an opportunity now just to add something to the debate.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah. Both Councillor Martin and I are here in support of this. Obviously, we are ward members. This has been a long-running story. Kathleen has more experience of me because it's been going on for so long. But the community in Clackmannan are rightly proud of the Town Hall and actually of the Town Hall Trust for the way that they've run the building over the last couple of decades. This is a culmination of years of planning and work within the community groups, both the CDT and the Town Hall Trust. There has been a number of options explored over the years, but now the purchase by the CDT is seen as the best way forward. This will be building on 20 years or so of experience of the Town Hall Trust actually running the building, along with the CDT, who have run community events for a number of years as well, very successfully on both fronts. And that will bring together this group, and that will ensure a sustainable model for the Town Hall. I hear the finance concerns, but I think the words that are used in the document are optimistic but not unrealistic. I don't think I think being optimistic is a good thing. I think knowing that the groups involved, I think the optimism that they've got and the enthusiasm they've got, I think that they'll bring that to fruition. The CDT have outgrown their current facility, and they'll be able to offer more in the Town Hall. And again, that will add even more benefit to the local community. They're pretty much at the moment in a one-room building, which they're hamstrung by what they can do and what the offerings that they have. By moving to the Town Hall, they can run multiple events at, at, the, same time. So yeah, I think that will be a huge benefit to them. The building is in pretty good condition. We've recently done roof works there, done by the council, so that should be wind and watertight for the foreseeable as well. And the council have made a commitment to help community groups take assets like this into ownership. So, yeah, I'd just like to thank the chair for allowing me to speak. And yeah, I'm very supportive of this, and I hope that the committee are as well.
Thank you, Councillor Harrison. Councillor Martin, do you want to come in?
Yeah, there's no lot I can add. Sorry, I've got the phone to say what Councillor Harrison said.
A wee bit nearer.
Yeah. There's no lot I can add to what Councillor Harrison said. I would say, gosh, this has been a long time coming, and I'm pleased to see this paper coming forward, because, well, the Town Hall Trust, they were trailblazers in their, when this first started, and that hall was operated with, passion and love. I would say we used to have a talent contest there for kids every year, and you'll remember, Jane, and there was a lot going on. Now, I've known several members of the CDT, the Development Trust, for many years now. I'm confident they've got the commitment and the passion and basically the dedication to drive this forward. I take on board what you're saying. I would say as well that the whole economic climate has been uncertain for a long time now, and these groups have operated in it and continue to do it successfully. Yeah, I would stress that. So yeah, I definitely, as I say, I'm delighted to see this go forward. It will continue. The CDT will take it forward. It will benefit both the community, and it will ensure that the town hall itself endures for future generations, as it has done in the past. So, sorry, I'm rambling on here in between. Ready to hold my nose. Thank you, and thank you for letting us speak.
Thank you, Councillor Martin, for that. Councillor Earl.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk long. I think a lot of what I was going to say has already been said. Yes, this has gone on for quite some time, but years, a lot of years. And one guy or another, but it's always been someone fighting the corner for the Bob McGill fought it very hard, long and hard for it. Derek Stewart was there, always fighting in that corner, and other councillors on both sides. It was never a political issue. It was what was good for the community, and I believe that it is a necessary part of the jigsaw. We have to support the two sections in the recommendation, and I can see nothing but success for this venture. The people of Glenmannon have been shouting it for a long time, so let's answer it and pass this paper.
Thank you, Councillor. Anyone else? I just had a quick note on finance. I did a little bit of rooting around in it last night, and looking at year 3, for example, I tried to separate out the CapEx side, the capital expenditure side, from the kind of transactional side. And basically, in year 3, they're forecasting a burn rate of about 39,000, something like that. Now, that's supported by a grant income shown in the plan of 25,000. I don't know if that's going to continue. So that gives you a sort of net burn rate of 14,000. The residual pot at the end of year 3 is 101,800 roughly, and that gives them, on the basis that they continue with the grant funding that's shown in the plan, that gives them 7 years before they run out of money. So I think that's time enough, in my opinion, that's time enough to sort of get your act together, get it sorted out. Worst case scenario, they don't get the grant, they've got 3 years. But I think that a fair assessment, would you say, Nicola?
Agree, totally.
Good. Right. So yes, I'm happy to endorse the paper. Anyone else want to make a contribution to William? Happy with everything. Okay, I think we have enough information now to make a decision, colleagues. I think we do. All right, those in favour of approving this with the conditions mentioned by the director, please raise your hand. That is unanimous. Thank you very much for your time and trouble. We'll see you again on another occasion.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes.